blonder, but not dumber. That's a stereotype that we need to forget. Have you seen Legally Blonde? Hey guys, it's Amy here, back again with another video. Stories will hold little value without making some kind of higher connection. And I don't mean God, Buddha, or Ram. Did English teachers bore you to death shoving themes down your throat? Have you ever watched a kids movie where they blatantly say the moral and the purpose of the story during the climax? Or did a book you read feature some absurd similarities to history? This is the array that we're covering today. Themes, morals, and allusions. These are tools that you can use to provide greater meaning to your works, make them more relatable, or provide valuable insight that you are willing to share. For some writers, this may come naturally when writing, and for others, they shoehorn it in like the Cinderella's stepsisters trying to fit their foot into a glass slipper. Actually, in the real fairy tale, they cut off their heel and their toe. We're gonna study today how to make those connections the right way and how to implement them into your stories. No, the themes, morals, and allusions, not the cutting off of toes and stuff. A theme is a constant idea presented throughout the course of your novel, but it's not an aesthetic, like the influencers who have all these posts that look the same and then they have blank posts to signify a new theme. Wait, do people still do that? It is more so a topic to be examined over the course of the narrative. It may not be explicitly stated, but it is there in the background. Although for young adult and middle grade audiences, it might be a little bit more obvious. You don't want to have it shoehorned in there and standing out like a pervert peeking through a window. Examples of themes include identity in The Book Thief, found families in The Guardians of the Galaxy, and community in The Heights. The key to making themes prevalent in your story is connecting it to your characters and your plot points without explicitly stating so. That is good old advice. Show don't tell. Advice people still don't listen to. Additionally, your theme needs to be consistently present. If your novel, for instance, say has one feminist scene, then it wouldn't count as having the theme of feminism. The theme of feminism needs to be in multiple scenes, maybe not necessarily all of them, but all the ones that are relevant for it to be considered a themed feminist story. Just having it throughout a single character's character arc is enough. And yes, that does mean that not all characters will be able to relate to every single theme. And in some obvious cases, your male lead may have the theme of toxic masculinity throughout their story, but you won't be able to tell it the same, and it'll be very weird if you told it through the perspective of your female lead. But as I said earlier, the key to doing this is to leave it in the background and let the story and the theme naturally explore itself. A moral is a message or a lesson that the characters and the readers learn by the end of the story. Like Aesop's Fables, a classic adolescent example of connecting lessons to stories. Unlike themes, these are definitely explicitly stated or shown, especially towards the end of the narrative, as this is usually a tool that the main character learns in order to solve the climax and the main conflict. And these are shown in even more than just kids' literature. The moral of Star Wars is to trust the Force, to believe in yourself and your instincts. The moral of Heathers is to love everyone and that everyone has got a little bit of good inside of them. And the moral of Into the Woods is to be careful what you wish for. But the key thing to remember is that something needs to be learned. It is not just a revelation that reveals itself at the end, it needs to be built up, both for the character and the audience who are learning this. The Save the Cat beak structure has a very easy way to do this. Have this lesson get stated at the start of the narrative in a context where we aren't able to understand it or the character ignores it. This leaves it to be misinterpreted. And then, by the start of the climax, that's when they fully learn its true meaning and start to adapt their own plans around it. And you don't have to be PG with these morals either. Lord knows that there are more exciting stories that are not PG. No, not in that sense. These morals can be dark or negative, ones that are learned with a character under a negative arc. And then it can more so be something that the audience learns to not do, because they understand it better than the characters. And yes, you are allowed to say the moral of the story like you are the Oracle of Delphi herself. An allusion is a connection to the narrative outside of the narrative world itself. These are often events in history, modern history, that the book draws inspiration from. And no, the setting that the actual story takes place in a historical fiction, is not an allusion. It is the setting. Of course you're gonna get insights from that historical period because it's a historical fiction. And if it is, you better have researched it right. The events that you draw parallels from are not exactly the same. They will just be similar events, with similar consequences and similar insights about behaviors, from history or from stories. Some examples of this are Ruby Volume 7 drawing inspiration and allusions from the 2016 US elections, The Hunger Games drawing inspiration from Theseus and the Tale of the Labyrinth, and the movie Clueless drawing inspiration and allusions from Jane Austen's novel Emma. But the key to making allusions work is that the story can still be worthwhile with the allusion in place for somebody who does not know what it means. So these allusions can still hold great value, but even more value for somebody who's in on it. Basically, do not make it an inside joke. This content isn't only for the people who know about the event, as you are not directly copying it either. Don't plagiarize history, damn it! You are just drawing parallels from it in order to explain human behavior from similar events. You are alluding to something. Wow, Captain Obvious. Allusions can also be done with lines of dialogue, like the way that you would quote a movie to relate to a certain circumstance. The line of the movie can still work outside of its original context. Just don't go saying exactly what it references. Way to break immersion. And that is your down low on themes, morals, and allusions. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new around here. Be sure to ring that bell so you can find out when I post more creative content. ASTER'S CODA Exposure, my novel, is available to buy in the description. It's a perfect novel for fans of Percy Jackson or high action fantasy, spies. It is great. And also check me down below for my Instagram, my Twitter, and my website. Stay creative, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.